Okay, cool. Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc. Press Options button. Spike Gunsoft Co. Ltd. All rights reserved. Hey Derpy, what's up? Continue. Yes. Hi Jesus. I just said my skills right. Apparently I did not. Oh, I thought I did. Let's go compose. Steadies your aim a little effective during the non-stop debate and the Hangman's Gambit. Oh. Cool. Austin thought has increased the time limit. I didn't even know any of these did. I just equipped them because those are the only skills I have. Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battle. Oh, handiwork. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once. Ah. Nice. Vocabulary increases the bullet capacity during the bullet time battle. Costs 4 SP. Okay, cool. Well, here's bullets. Jesus Christ, that was so hard yesterday. Basically, we got a note. Everyone got a note saying to meet in the dining hall. And then we went to Hero's room and found the Robo Justice thing. And then nobody but Hero could possibly fit in the costume. In addition, anyone wearing it would not be able to see their feet or bend the waist more than 90 degrees. And then Hero's account was, I found, the note reads, I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. And then the wristwatch from Taka was at 6 o'clock, which confirmed that as of last night the watch still worked, which means it was in the morning. Taka's lifeless body had scrap paper. Fumi had that in his hand, and both their handbooks are used. So, on that note, let's finish the preparations and let's do it. Class trial. Alright, wait, is that new?
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
That's a very fair point.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is he really the killer, or before anything else we have to make that clear? Make your argument. Yoshihiro's message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
I mean, looking at the blueprints, that hand is awful messy. I remember right here's handwriting is. Oh,
Everything
that's
we
what it
found
meant.
in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you
What?
are the culprit.
It's not true. It's
Hero, what?
no. Just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you
How did I
are
not hit it? I forgot what the
It's not
button was
true,
to
it's
slow everything down.
No. Just hold on a second.
What? What button is it? I thought it was R1. Hello? Am I just being stupid? No, R1 is for them to go automatically without having me pressing X. Squares open up the handbook. I do not remember what the button is to slow things down. Oh, wait. Yeah, R1 did slow it down, didn't it? Oh, this
everything
one.
we found in your room. The blueprints,
The suit parts. No, that's wrong.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
what do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Of course, he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question, well, that's when I was in the suit. Hero?
Got it!
Hero was in
Other
the
than
suit.
Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Yes.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Okay, then it's Koyuko then. Because she's the only one that... If it wasn't Hero, and it wasn't any of the other people in our group at the time, then that's the only person who was.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It
Oh, I
would
know
seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Yes, they must have been...
I got it!
that. There's still one more thing. Same thing as Masaki. What? Blue tarp?
I got it!
Okay.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, They wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Damn, that's kind of cold.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Yeah, saying that, you say that, but I was the one that solved the last 2 fucking trials, okay? You can go fuck off. I like Celeste, but damn. Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Maybe I can change your mind. I just explained why the dolly must have been moved to the equipment room to the repository. A new element had been added to the route. Yeah. No, I didn't know, no! Uh-oh. Why would they do that? What the fuck? I don't know what I'm doing.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away
I'm so
with
confused. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
I didn't mean to press nut at all. Reload is the square button. Press square button in time with the rhythm to reload your bullets. Each button pressed will reload 1 bullet. If your difficulty is set to kind, you do not have to reload. Fever time, R1. Press R1 to activate fever time, which will not consume. Yeah, be required to reload and tempo before some X. And then good time during the batter and yeah, final strike.
You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst.
I'm so glad I
cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I'm so glad I decided to read that. Because I would have never known to reload. Hold
If
on.
you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jesus, let's really hate me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Not gonna lie, I accidentally pressed on not at all, obviously. But I was like, hold on, maybe it will tell me, maybe if I press options it will tell me, and it did. And I'm so glad it did.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Done it. What does he mean by that? Make your argument. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Yes.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Or you can't bend over in it.
Wrong.
No, that's wrong. Break.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as bad here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you actually got away in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Absolutely no chance the costume was taken off in the body because you can't take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? What? Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. Really don't have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get that hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
Kyoko, that's how you pronounce her name.
Alright then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw something moving around the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down to the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
Ah! Huh? Well, what was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to get back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body had disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies.
Well, the only one that doesn't have an alibi right now, it's Koiko. That's not how you pronounce her name, but that's how I've been pronouncing it. I really don't want it to be her, because I like her character. Very mysterious and shit. But it's looking rather... And also, it's also weird too, because she's... if she was the murder and everyone wanted to... but everyone wanted to just assume... Oh, hi, Miss Cookie. Everyone wanted to assume that Hiro did it, right? Why would anyone, why would she want to direct it to a different place? That's what I don't understand. To be honest, I don't know who did it, because every single time I come up with something in my head, the game that throws a curveball at me. So I don't actually know who did it.
And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them.
See, like if she was the murderer, like how I'm thinking, why would she be helping us? That's what I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense. Not at all.
Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened with Taka. To uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Alright, cool. File number 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Do? Oh, don't give me like that. Anything like
Shoot.
that. Oh, fuck. Oh, I forgot I was only at half a heart. Failed. Oh, really? You don't have to say? Oh. I kind of forgot. It's fine. Here another shot? Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
I don't know why I did that. Of course. Wait. I don't even know if we know in what order they died in though.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I know we're numbered, but were they really using that order? See, that's what I was trying to do, but I forgot that holding...
I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
What? What was I? What am I supposed to do against that? There's nothing...
So, regarding Taka, I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice...
How's death with the bullet to the head? It was appeared that velvet. And what am I supposed to use with Monokuma file number 3? Hello? Creation, fast forward, weak spots. Press triangle, loading truth bullet. Hold down L1 to open up truth cylinder, then the left stick.
Justice Hammer 4.
See?
Oh, alright, I can't
So
choose
it's obvious
anything
Taka came
different.
after. So, I wonder if...
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What am I supposed to do?
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Shoot!
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, clearly. What the fuck?
So, regarding Taka's...
I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3,
There's nothing...
while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
We're numbered, though, were they really using that order? I'm wasting so much time. 'cause I don't
Regarding I
understand.
wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Yeah, but there's only 2 spots, and I did both of them. I don't know.
So,
How am I supposed to know if they were
regarding
used
Taka's death,
in that order or
I
not?
wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, I forgot. Used for thinking. I didn't even read what you said. I just kind of was like, okay, whatever.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. What time he must have died, which is the Hangman's Gambit. Watch, wristwatch. Wristwatch! Right? What? Oh, it's an H, not a T. Why did I do a T? Wristwatch.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey, you, what took you so long? You kept us waiting! Taka's irritated voice pierced in the air as he started pointing at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yeah, what was that? There's all this. Oh, yeah, because we
When we
all.
heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
Who could have gone for more than a... We could have not been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in a short amount of time. It would seem so.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third, in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... No!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was... alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That... it isn't possible.
Maybe Hifumi was alive. Is that really possible? I don't know. Well, no, because the Monokuma file said that he was dead, right? Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he...
No.
It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What the fuck? Oh, I forgot it blocks it out if that thing's there.
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body,
and that
is why the...
Are we really so sure about... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot!
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Shoot!
I don't know.
I refuse to give up yet!
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a
Chance he was actually
still alive?
Shoot!
What am I supposed to grab then? Because none of these...
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement
Not
was
what I
made.
wanted to do!
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Give some time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead,
And you know that how?
surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body
Had been found.
Shoot!
What?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal
Someone else's discovery.
Shoot!
I don't know.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that
There's
how?
nothing wrong with this.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Yeah,
And that is why the announcement was made.
but there was
Are
two.
we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
No, I'm pretty sure it was twice. Remember what Koiko says. What'd she say? Someone else's discovery? No, the only thing I have right now is the wristwatch, which helps me in no possible way, because I can't take away her. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we
I didn't know I
first
could
found
carry it
Hifumi in
over.
the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
I bet it told me that, but I did not.
No, it is
I
impossible.
didn't know that you could use it like that.
Hifumi
though.
was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body
Had been found.
No, that's wrong.
If I would have remembered that, I wouldn't have wasted so much time, but I did not know that.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Thinking about it, the first time I played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. Second time was when just after Fumi came back to it. Sure that right? I remember. Oh shit. I only have 1 try at this.
I got it!
Yeah, that's what I was gonna pick
We heard
originally.
it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body.
That's your job. Every time you mess up, then try another opinion that alternative, right?
Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it somewhere. It's everyone. Oh, he wiped off his glasses. Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
That's
and the
annoying.
next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Then...
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. They gave that one to me. They had it longer than it needed to be there for.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Was glasses cleaning cloth.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi did.
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Could it be the note?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let us meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Taka!
Got it!
Kafumi's pants.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. The reason... I don't know. Make your argument. Broken with touching glasses, glasses critical.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
Wait, so then how the fuck did Hifumi die then?
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
From Taka. Matt.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, Who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Damn.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Hero has a fashionable smooth brain. Jesus, dude, I can't take Hina seriously because you said her voice was the same as Morgana, so now every single time I just hear Morgana.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow, I will find the truth. Oh, it's the clean hammer. The polished hammer, like the cleaned hammer, whatever. Yeah, the spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was,
Looking cool, Makoto.
there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No, that's wrong.
Is she really almost
The
also
murder
on?
weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but...
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is...
No, that's wrong!
There was two murders.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. The main character this time, Kyoko, must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this series as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. The character really is amazing, although when she said, think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at
I
this.
understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
True killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions in the end murdered him. And the debates up till now, the way the cases had unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Who? Hello? I'm so confused. Who am I supposed to be picking? Her? Hello? Me? What are you? Vaccination.
Shoot!
Okay, I'm lost. Who am I supposed to choose? The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and then they murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has been unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Who's been manipulating people? I'm thinking, who manipulates people? It's obviously not her. Because I already tried, and that was not a good plan. It's this guy. Yeah, I actually knew it wasn't him. Okay, the true killer manipulated Fumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end murdered him. And the debates up till now, the way cases had unfolded, then when you consider that, who has been ordering Hifumi around?
Here's my answer.
That was good. That was good without telling me. That was good. That was a good hint without telling me.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
What the fuck?
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Screaming. Honestly, what was the that screaming? I don't think that's it. It's over everyone. And comment. They had encountered suspicious individual. Oh my god, every single time I get the first one wrong.
It has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
she let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on. We have to head back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well then, Makoto and Hina, will you come with me to the nurse's office? I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toku, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, That piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
I would have never thought it was Celeste.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Never in a million years. I was even thinking at work, I was like, man, I think about games I play while I'm at work to make it go by faster. I was like, wow, Celeste is kind of a cool character.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
I didn't even realize that... I don't realize that we didn't talk about it to Celeste.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
I hear you and said that Celeste's comment doesn't make any sense. Well, what is he alluding to? He's alluding to that she didn't know that she wouldn't have known. We couldn't find number 3. I don't think I need
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Shoot!
What?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be...
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
When she said that she only had known about Hifumi's death, with that in mind, reverse what you remember?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
Shoot!
Oh, fuck. I like how if you mess up too many times, it's like, oh, Makoto, you're the one. Wait, so virtually you remember. Yeah.
I refuse to give up yet.
With what you tried to contradict. Okay, so she said that those guys were killed, but she didn't know. Oh, okay, I think I know what I'm supposed to do. I think I know what I'm supposed to do. I think I got it.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those...
No, that's wrong.
Okay, so when you say reverse what you
right.
remember, I did
There's
the
no
backwards.
reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
She could have been staged.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? The picture wasn't suspect dragging Hifumi away. Another possibility is...
I got it!
Okay.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Damn, she told her. Celeste thinks we can prove that she can prove there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
She said she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
No, that's wrong.
Ugh, no, that's wrong. Sorry for me being silent, but I'm trying to think.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly! You want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yoshihiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last
I
names.
got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
So still don't give up. So then, I have to do something to make her accept it. I don't know what this is.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
I know what I'm supposed to do. What is your name?
Hifumi was trying to... He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might...
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times? Celestia Ludenberg, god!
How long do you plan to go?
I'm not pretending. It's... And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school's life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it'll display your name. Anyway, make sure you have it. Make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay. Closing argument. Alright, oh fuck. That's not even, okay. That's also not, okay, oh, that would make sense. Oh wait, no, this is right. That's the wrong clock. Right. And that would be 6 o'clock. What is this? I don't know what this is. It looks like a bag of chips. Which doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm gonna put it in there.
The killer is you!
I don't know what it is, but it's sure it's
Before
something.
anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was
Hifumi.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Wow, I got pretty fucking far. I'm proud of myself. Legends at Justice Hammer 4. Oh, I haven't used that yet, I guess.
Here's exactly what happened. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
Okay. Oh, then this would be where Justice Hammer 3 is. Yeah,
Here's
I think that's
what
it.
happened.
How does chips all work? I don't know,
While
bro.
we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office.
I could have sworn the chips were gonna be the one that I could have sworn.
This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
You know,
their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them.
You know, compared to the last one, this one went a lot smoother.
And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
What the fuck? It sure did, yeah. It really did go a lot smoother this time.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Complete.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
So she admitted to it. Oh, I think that's accurate. Ace. It was like AC. I was like, yeah. Nice. Oh. Nice.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote.
How'd you get an A?
Okay.
I don't know how I got an A. It was definitely an undeserved A. Okay, me putting chips into the fucking thing automatically made my A go away. I don't know how I got an A.
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I don't know how I got perfect on the last case though either, because I made way more mistakes in this one. Guilty.
What?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who deserved the whole stinking scheme, who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg. One more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake, after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. How did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her speciality, lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to make him agree.
So then...
Then how did you... So, did you use, you know? I knew you figured it out, Koiko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left,
I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... She talked about alter ego?
Say what?
What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here.
I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used to drag Hifumi into the plan you come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit.
What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
What?
So
I
then,
have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken, you know what, to Taka's room earlier, took pictures of it there. I did the pictures as soon as I showed it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Grr, so it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her.
You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
as for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it was hard for me to even say. He abused me,
What?
What?
and he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far.
It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was.
I'm about to say something I never said before in my life. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
most
Wait,
unfortunate.
please. If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka's planning to use her to escape. And he's making you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean...
Taka is gonna try to kill you.
What?
indeed.
And also he can keep her to herself.
That bastard! Bastard!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts?
Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I swear!
I have to save her!
actually,
Then, would you like to join me? It so happens I come up with the plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it was complete.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Fumi agreed without second thought. The effect it had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even love has twisted it, as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. What was that strange costume Hifumi creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd come up with something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why did you make me the suspect? Because you're stupid.
Huh?
That's it.
Let's see.
In that regard, I made the right choice, so I'm glad your stupidity surpasses my every expectation. Life must be tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But you're explaining your plan to Hifumi. How'd you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, well, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did this part and pretended to be dead once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was right on the verge of death, but he barely held on. Because he has smooth brain, yeah.
And you really believe that?
Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have an alibi, so no one could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched that lie to the level of opponent. In fact, Fumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How could human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That is a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about
No.
that.
He derives his pleasures to the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money?
Hmm.
You're talking about the $10 million Monokuma offer us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life began, my only thought has been escape. But you're the one who's been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Huh?
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More importantly, I hated anyone else in here. More than anyone else in here.
You little
I wanted to get
bitch.
out. Every day was fresh torture. And you know what? You wanna know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there's no way that I could ever do that. In the underground road of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my bustlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, there was the only dream, my only goal. That was what life is all about! Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be
unfortunately
done.
my dream had been scattered back to the winds. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel
do
nothing.
you understand?
And that's all there is. That's all there is to me. What makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrevolved. All I do is pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even feel my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I'd like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey!
You just be executed again. It's true. So let's file then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could have fooled her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You're all done? Okay, let's get rolling. The Blacken disturbs the peace, and you must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment Punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Game over. Celeste has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Well, I wonder what it's gonna be for her, because she gambles. The burning of their witch. Did he just hit her with the fucking truck? The fucking fire truck? Oh, that's not what I was expecting. Let's go, fire put out. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny. At one point, I considered her a friend, too. And for him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world. So more people had to die.
Extreme!
So you guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is. That reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna keep this up? How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kaliko, did I see some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh!
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do with my body?
Ooh! How exciting!
Oh man, oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez, what do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kodiko's body. What? Hold on. Back. Rewind. What? What's that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's time I got out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
See ya! Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Koiko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you? Most likely. It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey!
I suppose sometimes it's easy to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed into the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Koiko looked back at us and said,
Hey.
I'm going to go in alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
So...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she quickly glanced at the security camera.
Come on.
It's not what I mean. Why you? There's still a risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm going to go to the dining hall, okay?
Huh?
Huh? So Makoto and Koiko are gonna go together? Ah, does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers. We get to show a little back. Just forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Koiko together alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then...
We need to get into that locker. Here you go. Took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. The locker swung open. We saw...
You really came.
Good morning! It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Koiko so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time.
So?
Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait a while, just a while longer. So we can finally say the case is closed. As far as the incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second since we have this opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Koiko, please tell me. What are you trying to do on your own here at the school?
You.
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. It just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared. And we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural to think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No. I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious people believe in their friends, right? And that's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then?
That's fine.
Fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see? What I heard from Koiko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I tell Koiko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when I did, I went to action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, the way in the back, she said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Koiko really be right about this? Just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Koiko told me about. Could it really be hidden in here? She said it was in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I was being yanked in, Gashunk!
the same time I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what's going on. Ba-bump. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out the back of the wall was like a revolving door. I had made my way to the other side, just like Kohiko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom, the second floor, there's the storage closet. In the back of the closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? Oh, not a camera, that's for sure. It's just a normal desk, without any drawers. Oh, with no drawers. There's a bunch of files, and what looked like a volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file on the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope Peak Academy Student Registry. And one thing here not covered in dust. Had someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file in my hand. Before I had a chance to look at it, a slip paper fell into the file, and I turned to my attention. What's this? You must not leave. You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. The words you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? Strange sound rang through my head. I felt like I was shaking my brains back and forth, and then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow! Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head provided that much at least. Wait, the books are gone! Oh, not books, the files. I thought I died. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? My brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back to my room, back towards my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. The further I walked, the more I felt things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. Couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that, as if from a veiled distance I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound coming from the gym. As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? Can't be nothing. Here, in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. Sound coming in from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Before me there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Wait, Sakura was the one that was inside job? Deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be Mastermind Spies? Next generation legend, stand tall, galactic hero. The end. Surviving students? 7. To be continued. You got Super Robo Justice present! Yes. Leon killed Sayaka. Monokuma killed Junko. Then Leon got executed. Then Mondo killed Chihiro. And then he got executed. Hifumi killed Taka, and then Celeste killed Hifumi. Then she got executed. And that brings us up to now. The next morning in the dining hall, the day after Celeste's case.
And now there's only 5 of us here.
Only a third of the number of people we started with.
Indeed.
Loneliness has become commonplace. That's true. Still. What did I see yesterday? I don't understand. Sakura's mastermind spy? Can that really be true? Makoto, are you okay? No, I'm fine. Can't bring it up in front of the others. If I did, it would just confuse everyone that much more.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, let's eat till we pass out.
What do you mean, in that case?
Cause, I mean...
Well, just like how scary everyone looks, it's gotta be because you're all fighting on empty stomachs, right? If you fill your belly, I'm sure you'll all cheer up. So let's eat.
Okay.
Let's fry up some fish and donuts and eat till we can't stand up.
What?
That's like a deep impact style, meteor impact, execution level combination of foods. What? Those are both breakfast time top sellers. Still, the till we can't stand up part is a problem. After we're done, we need to go explore.
I see.
That's right. Since class trial is over, new areas should have opened up.
It's true.
Plus, we still have alter ego. We don't have to give in to despair just yet. She's right. We have a plan ahead, and think about the future.
You got it.
Yeah. Think happy thoughts, no deathy thoughts.
You know?
Like when we're gonna get out of here, right?
For serious.
When this is all over, I think I want to be reborn. For serious. As someone serious.
Well...
Hey, are you okay? Sounds like something someone who's about to die would say.
I'm totally okay. I'm not gonna die. Why? Because there aren't gonna be any more murders.
Huh? What makes you so sure?
According to the spirits...
I predicted it last night. Since it relieved itself from me to the ether, there's no doubt about it.
However...
How accurate is your fortune telling? Anyway.
How about that?
I can usually hit 20 or 30% on a good day. That seems really low.
It's not like some occult mystery.
Yeah, it's not like it's ESP or whatever. Of course I'm not gonna get it right sometimes.
The occult is bullcrap.
I told you, my fortune telling isn't some occult thing.
So,
Fortune telling isn't a cult?
You got it all wrong.
Of course not. Clairvoyance is clairvoyance. Don't put it in the same category as cattle. Mutilation?
Huh?
Cattle what?
So...
He's referring to urban legend where aliens abduct cows and dissect them as part of their research.
Actually...
No. You're calling it an urban legend? As a matter of fact, it's true. As a matter of fact, it happened to me. It all happened one day when I got a hamburger. It was at a place I'd never been before. They claimed their patties were 100% all beef. So I got a burger to go and head home. I headed home. And before long, the sky was falling with a mysterious blinding light. Filled, not falling.
Some crazy beam came out of nowhere and locked onto my hamburger. And as soon as the beam touched it, the burger started floating in midair. And then, still floating there, the entire burger started coming apart. One part of it just vanished, while the rest fell back into my hand. Do you realize what that means? It means the burger wasn't 100% beef. It must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70% pork and 30% beef would be my guess. You can't trick me.
Wait, what's so sad? I'm so confused. So I stormed back to the burger place and got it up in the manager's grill, and they totally admitted it. It wasn't 100% beef. They mixed and ground pork with it.
How about that?
Now, do you see? That is cattle mutilation. I kind of got lost halfway through. I can't tell if you're for the occult or against it. You stink of stupidity.
Don't be mean.
I stink of, how dare you? Well, you do stink, though. That's fine. That's fine? Anyway, hope your prediction turns out to be true. Well, at least I won't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Me either. I mean, I would never.
Of course.
Me either.
Indeed.
Nor I. It goes for me too. Of course, I could never kill any of my friends. Felt like those words of encouragement were helping us come together as one. After so much sacrifice and hardship, we finally become united. But,
well,
to be honest, I wish Byakuya and Toko were here for this too. But they're so hard to deal with. They only think about themselves. Yeah, we're better off without them, I say. That was enough to prove. We were united for the time being, but with that bond hit weakness and fragility. Chapter 4. All-Star Apologies. Began the search as soon as we finished our breakfast in the dining hall. We had to find out what happened, who was waiting for us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, this is where I am going to end the stream for the time being, because I just got off work and I didn't eat and I'm hungry, and I just wanted to finish the class trial. So either tomorrow or Tuesday I'm gonna be continuing this. I haven't decided yet. Really depends on how much I want to work myself, but it's fine. I'm fine. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed your the trial, the most forgiving A I've ever seen. that was fucking hell, that was crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I'm out.